All right, welcome to this Stampscapes quick card. You can do it as a stamp along if you want, but we'll be going with the Lakeside cabin, reeds, little solo canoeist, and a quote stamp, and we'll be doing it on the wood grain paper. Okay, so on the wood grain paper, I find that surface-oriented inks work the best. Okay, so like a Brilliance fast drying pigment ink or something like a StazOn. A lot of you have StazOn, or a lot of us have it, but I don't know, don't use it a lot, but I find that it opens up a lot of doors for stamping on maybe unconventional surfaces, such as this wood grain paper. So the wood grain paper, it's printed, with that wood grain on there, so you have printer's ink, so it doesn't take certain inks that great, but I find that the StazOn works very well on it. I mean, StazOn can work on just about anything. Yeah, you can stamp on glass or metal with it if you want to, but things like the foils that we use and stamping, but maybe don't stamp on them. Suddenly you can stamp on them with the StazOn. Okay, so I'm holding this down a little bit, allowing that ink to transfer on there, and we have our stamp. Okay, and I hold it down just, I don't know, I let the ink kind of set up on there. Okay, let's add some reeds down here in the foreground. Kind of anchors and frames the scene really nicely, okay? Sometimes you get a couple impressions out of one inking like that. So I go higher, change the angle, and then lower. So high, low, high, low, like that. Change the angle a little bit, just so it doesn't look like the same, reed stamp used over and over, even though it is, okay? Got the solo canoeist here. Nice light, even pressure. And the word stamp I'm going to use is "In the woods we return to reason and faith," from a Scenic Sentiments set. Okay. All right. Now, I mean, that could be the end of the card right there, and we'd be at 3 minutes, okay? Pretty quick card, but I'll tell you what I think looks really good on this card. So you can splatter paint it with some snow or something like that. Now, I did this card recently, very similar, on the vintage paper, okay? And I splattered it with a little bit of Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White, some white paint. You can also use a gel pen or a paint pen like this to add some snow in there. But here's what I like to do on my structures, okay? I like to add a little bit of this. This is a tan, but you can use a white paint pen. So look at that now. That cabin looks like it has a light on the inside, but here's, you see in my shadows down here where you have these shadows right in here, but then you have this lighter area? That represents the reflection of this window down in the water. So I'm going to reiterate. So if this is like a later, nighttime type of thing. So see how I add those little dots like that? But watch this. As I move away from that window, what you do is you spread out your dots a little bit more. So it looks like the light is kind of reflecting down here, but then you dissipate it a little bit like that, okay? So a little bit more up here underneath the window, and then you just spread it out. See, that's like 2 dots on top of each other like that. And there you have your card. Now, I mean, like you said, you can do other things on here, but you can add more highlights in there, but that really emphasizes the interior lighting and that reflective light down in that lower section. So this is just you know, very thin style of paper. What are we at, by the way? At 5 minutes. So that, I mean, that this card took less than 5 minutes. So that's one of the things that's really fun about using pre-printed types of cards or papers, you know, like these types of things. All of the background's already kind of taken care of. Now you can add more things. You can add like some colored pencil marks on here if you want to add a little bit of tone. You know, you can do that, but the thing about this is that you don't really have to. Okay, so here's kind of a vertical usage of that wood grain, and I stamped out a bunch of them here. I've been sending these out. I get really excited about this type of paper like this. Here, this is more on a horizontal. I guess you could say the horizontal is kind of more natural. That looks like a sky pattern or something like that, and looks like water down there on the you know, the wood patterning. But this wood pattern paper is just, if you haven't seen a lot of my, like all my recent videos where I'm using this like crazy, it's a disposable paper placemat. So these come in 11 by 17 sheets, and I've just been cutting it down to standard quarter size. And some of them I do where it's kind of more vertical like this, 4¼ by 5½. And then some of them I just leave it vertical like that. So I think it looks pretty cool either way. And there's a lot of different variation within that, you know, master 11 by 17 piece. So I don't know, kind of makes it really fun to play around with. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. And test out your inks if you get this too. I've been mentioning this to people in the emails. You know, try your VersaFine Clairs, or I don't know, maybe you have a dye-based ink that works better on it than mine. Mine kind of stamped out, you know, really lightly like this. My dye-based ink on that. See, the stays on is a lot darker, and that's the Brilliance. And this was the Clair. But my Clair was, you know, it's a little bit dry, and I don't have a re-inker for it. I keep saying I need to get one, and which I do, but I don't know, you can test out your different inks on it, so see what works the best for you. Okay, thanks for watching.